If you're a cybersecurity student or really any kind of tech student in general, then there's something that you should know and there's something that you should have. This is something that no one else is going to tell you until now. And yet this thing can radically transform the way that you approach your industry right now while you were in school and the opportunities that will be available to you afterwards. And the best part is it is all completely free. School. Some folks love it, others don't. Kind of like me, I don't like school. That said, it is a great opportunity to learn new things and develop in an environment that is specifically designed for you to learn and grow. However, even in the confines of school, there's something that you need to know that no one else is going to tell you. And there's also something that you should have because of that information. And this is something that is going to dramatically transform the opportunities that are available to you once you are done with school. We're going to start with the thing to know, and then we're going to hit the thing that you need to have after you hit that like button. And also, if this video is helpful, be sure to share this with a fellow classmate so that way they can also have their entire educational time transformed. The thing that you need to know and really accept is that with few exceptions, your school is just not going to be able to properly and sufficiently prepare you for the real world. I can say that because I went to school for cybersecurity and I wasn't prepared enough for the real world. And the sooner that you can know this and catch this and accept it, the sooner that you can actually start working on identifying ways that you can better prepare yourself to be prepared once you are done. So does that make college a scam? No, I don't think so, and here's why. The truth is, in order to cover sufficiently all the different topics within cybersecurity, after you've already covered all the general ed topics and you've already covered all the basic information within your field that you need to know before you can jump into cybersecurity, yeah, there's just not enough time to do it, and you're still going to be focusing on the concepts and not the practice. Let's think about this and unpack it just a little bit. To really get a good understanding of cybersecurity, it would really help to have a very strong foundation in networking and also how the different operating systems work. It helps to know a little bit of coding, and no, you don't necessarily have to know how to code to be in cybersecurity, but it does really help as an asset, a tool in your toolbox, if you will, either to know a language or to know the logic behind the different coding languages, just because that is language that people use. Even whenever they're communicating between each other, it is logic that people understand within this field, and it can be very helpful for you to know. Learning the logic behind these programming languages also helps make learning those languages a lot easier. And finally, it also helps to be very familiar with how businesses work and how to operate within a business and communicate your needs, and also understand how to really take their needs and make it work for what you're doing. The problem is a lot of schools rarely, if at all, even address that point. What makes this a real game changer, and this is really where the real world starts to bite, is that once you join a small to medium sized company, you might be the point of contact that's interfacing with other business units, with non-technical people. And so you have to explain the cybersecurity requirements that you're trying to implement, and you have to remember that all they really want to do is to be able to do their job. And if they're, a business person, then they want to be able to make money. They want the spice to flow. And a lot of them will see you as an obstacle towards that end. So you have to be able to find a way to navigate within that relationship and still make it work. And unfortunately, that's something that a lot of schools don't cover. Now, fortunately, that is something that you can learn more about in an internship. And unfortunately, that really is just a thing that you'll just have to learn more about with getting experience. And yet all of that we just talked about is helpful to know about before you take your first cybersecurity course, which again, as you know, is a huge and dense field. Certainly enough to fill up 120 credits on its own. And that's again without the general ed courses and without any of the networking or other courses that we just listed. They have to teach all of cybersecurity plus the basics plus the general ed within 120 credits, which means you might only be spending 60 to 80 credits on cybersecurity courses, which yikes. Needless to say, colleges and universities really are trying to make this better. However, it's just a challenging problem to have to be able to cover everything that you need to know in school just within 120 credits. However, you're not completely screwed, because now that we have identified the problem, we can start looking at something that you can do to radically transform the opportunities you have once you're done with school and how you learn. In fact, this is something that you can do for free right now to to really start complementing the concepts that you're learning in class and set yourself apart from your peers. This is something that I had to do for myself while I was in school, because my school also focused on just the concepts and not so much the practice. And this is making a home lab. If I hadn't made a home lab while I was in school, I might not have gotten a very important internship while I was in school that allowed me, I think, to get my first job. It is a game changer, and I can personally attest to that fact. And yet you can do this regardless of what kind of computer you have or what kinds of projects you want to take on. It doesn't even have to be that sophisticated of a home lab. It could literally just be a Raspberry Pi for $30. And I have affiliate links down in the video description for that. Or it could be a virtual machine with, Parallels if you're on Mac, or VMware if you're on an Intel chip Mac or a Windows machine. That one virtual machine you can use to learn how to code. You could set up a second virtual machine and learn how to network the two. You could configure Active Directory. You can even jump on to try Hack Me. There's a ton of different things that you could do with a home lab. So how exactly is this so transformative? Because you're learning the practice and you're actually putting your hand on the keyboard and you're working through these problems. We've already talked about how colleges have their hands full trying to teach you everything that they need to teach you, but they're going to have to focus on just the concepts. And there's nothing wrong with that. Learning the concepts and having a firm grasp on that can actually make you a very potent professional. It can make you, set apart from other people in the field. However, you have to be able to combine that with being able to actually do the stuff, being able to actually do the job. And unfortunately, they may not have enough time to teach you that. So that's where the home lab comes in, where you can on your own decide what you want to do, and you can get that practice. You can get those reps in, and you can put that on your resume. In fact, you absolutely should put whatever projects you're doing in your home lab on your resume. This can help you not only with learning the concepts, because you're able to actually see it in practice and see that the concepts are legit, but it can help you with certifications, because a lot of certifications do require a practical element. And then finally, yes, it can help you with finding your first cybersecurity job, because if it doesn't help you get an internship that can propel you into a job, then it's at least some projects that you can put down on your resume that will impress whoever you're interviewing with. If anything, it's just showing additional initiative and a willingness to learn on your own time. So how can you create a home lab? And once you have one, where can you start? Well, wouldn't you know it, I've already talked about both. So in the top video is a video on making an affordable home lab, and the bottom playlist is a pre-security walkthrough on Try Hack Me that you can follow through, that has some practical elements that you can go through, and that will give you the foundation before all the cybersecurity stuff, so you can basically slingshot your way to cybersecurity. Hit that like button if this was helpful, and share this video with a classmate so they can also have their educational time transformed. With all that, I will see you all next time. Bye.